Alright, buckle up, because this is about to get weird. Imagine an ancient civilization so advanced. They built a mechanical computer thousands of years ago, one that could predict eclipses, planetary movements, and even track time better than some modern devices. Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, hold on to your history books because this is real. Meet the Antikythera Mechanism, a 2,000-year-old Greek artifact so ahead of its time some people think aliens made it. And honestly, I wouldn't blame them. But what if I told you? This might not be the only one. This mind-blowing piece of tech was discovered in a shipwreck in 1901, but here's the crazy part. Scientists have only recently figured out what it actually does. Inside this rusty chunk of metal, a complex system of gears, calculations, and astronomical predictions that put modern tech to shame. And here's where it gets even crazier. Some researchers believe its design is based on technology that existed 10,000 years ago. Welcome to Infinitia Verity, where history gets way weirder than fiction. Let's unravel this mystery. Alright, let's set the scene. The year, 150 BCE. The place, ancient Greece where democracy was thriving, philosophers were arguing, and someone thought, you know what? Let's build a supercomputer. But Greece wasn't exactly peaceful. Rome was expanding, wars were breaking out, and honestly, people had bigger things to worry about than high-tech gadgets. Meanwhile, in the Mediterranean, a Roman ship carrying priceless loot, statues, gold, and something nobody understood, sank off the coast of Antikythera. Fast forward 2,000 years. In 1901, a group of sponge divers was poking around, hoping to find treasure, but instead they pulled up a weird corroded lump of metal. At first, everyone thought it was junk. But buried inside that rust was something no one expected. Gears, lots of gears. Now, if you found gears in an ancient artifact, you'd probably think, oh cool, some kind of clock. But here's the problem. This was way too advanced for its time. See, the Greeks weren't supposed to have gears this precise. The next time we see engineering this advanced, over 1,000 years later. Which raises a big question. Did the Greeks actually invent this? Or did they get the idea from somewhere or someone else? Alright, let's talk about why this thing shouldn't exist. The Antikythera Mechanism isn't just some random gears stuck together. This thing has over 30 precision-cut bronze gears, more than most modern watches. And it's designed to calculate astronomical cycles with shocking accuracy. The front dials, they showed the movement of the sun, moon, and planets. The back panel, it had a lunar calendar and could predict solar and lunar eclipses. The side gears, they could track the Olympic Games schedule because even in ancient times, people needed reminders for big sports events. But here's where it gets weird. This level of engineering shouldn't have been possible. At least, not according to what historians believed. Think about it. How did the Greeks know enough about space to build a device like this? The next time we see engineering this advanced, over 1,000 years later during the Middle Ages. Some historians believe this wasn't a Greek invention at all, but something borrowed from a much older, forgotten civilization. Ancient Babylonian, Egyptian, and even Mesopotamian cultures had insane knowledge of astronomy. Some Vedic texts from India even describe astronomical machines that track planetary cycles thousands of years ago. Could it be that this device was a remnant of a much older technology, one that had been passed down through centuries or even millennia? And if so, what else has been lost to time? Alright, let's get to the good part. In 1901, when sponge divers found the Antikythera Mechanism, nobody had a clue what it was. For decades, it sat in a museum, misidentified as a navigation tool. Then, in the 1950s, a British scientist named Derek de Solla Price looked at it and went, "Wait a minute. This isn't just a lump of metal, this is a machine." But he had no idea how advanced it actually was. Fast forward to 2006, and a team of scientists used X-ray imaging to scan the device. What they found blew their minds. Inside were intricate interlocking gears like something you'd expect in a Swiss watch, not an ancient Greek artifact. But the craziest part? It worked. It could predict solar eclipses, lunar phases, planetary movements, and even Olympic Games schedules all in real time. That's when scientists realized this wasn't just some random artifact. This was the world's first analog computer. And then came the next mystery. Who built it? Most historians credit Hipparchus of Rhodes, one of the greatest Greek astronomers, with its design. Scene 5. Lack of records. But here's the problem, there's no record of anyone in Greece building something this advanced. And then there's the writing on the device, it's coded. Why? Why would someone go through the trouble of hiding the knowledge inside this device? Some researchers suggest it wasn't a one-time invention, but part of a larger, lost technology. Now, here's where things get really wild. The Antikythera Mechanism uses a Babylonian Saros cycle to predict eclipses, a method that goes back over 1,000 years before the Greeks. Ancient Babylonians were obsessed with astronomy, tracking planetary movements, and even developing the first known star charts. So, did the Greeks borrow this knowledge, or did they uncover something far older? Some researchers point to Egyptian artifacts that suggest they had gear-driven devices for astronomy. And then there's Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, a 12,000-year-old temple with intricate carvings aligned to astronomical events. Could it be that ancient civilizations were far more advanced than we think? And here's the most insane theory. What if the Antikythera Mechanism wasn't the first, but the last? What if it was one of the few surviving pieces of an ancient scientific revolution that got wiped out? And if that's true, what else is still out there waiting to be found? Conclusion, so let's recap. We started with a shipwreck, found a 2,000-year-old device that shouldn't exist, realized it could predict eclipses, and now we're left wondering, was this the last of its kind, or are there more waiting to be discovered? Did ancient civilizations know more than we think, or craziest theory yet, was this knowledge given to them by someone or something else? Let me know in the comments. And if you love mind-blowing history, hit subscribe and stay tuned for more.